सो गाइस लास्ट नाइट बारसा ने जिस हिसाब का परफॉर्मेंस दिया है, लाइक लेजिट, क्या कहते हैं ना, एक एक प्रोफाउंड सेंस ऑफ प्राइड तो नज़र आता है, बट एट द सेम टाइम क्या कहते हैं ना, सामने वाली टीम को अगर मेंटली you have to challenge, or you have to bring it down to the specifics of the game, because all not all games can be played to your strengths, and sometimes you have to be prepared for some setbacks, you have to be prepared for some drawbacks, and I believe that is what Barcelona has been doing particularly well this season. Kyunki when you look at it, when you look into the specifics, you understand that this team Barcelona, in the beginning of the season, they had major players. The core players of their squad was missing because of the fact that they came late due to an international break. Euros खत्म हुआ था, so major जो core players of the squad थे वो बहुत late आए थे, and at the same time there were loads of injuries. I remember during the start of the season, this team was missing Frankie De Jong, this team was missing Pedri, this team was missing Gavi, this team was missing Araujo, this team was missing Dani Olmo because of injury. This team has been, and early into the season as well, they started getting more injuries. They lost Marc-Andre ter Stegen. They lost Lamine Yamal for some time, and this is one thing that I want to address: how Hansi Flick has tackled in his tenure until now. क्योंकि अगर तुम समझने बैठो, like if you guys try to understand, अगर कोई भी बंदा अगर समझो, लाइक लेमन टर्म्स में, कोई भी बंदा अगर नया बंदा आया है, फुटबॉल देख रहा है, he first thing that he will look into is the fact that how physically fit the players are, how much these players are running, because every day, every match day, you can see these players are giving their 110%. And right now, the way these players are playing, if someone would have told me that Pedri would be his role into the team would not just be as a playmaker but also as a ball retriever, person who's going to retrieve the ball from the opposition and at the same time drive the game by himself, take a sprint from the halfway line all the way to the opposition's box. He's going to run all the way to defend back and then again go ahead to create balls, to give key passes. I don't think I would have believed, मैं तो नहीं believe कर पाता honestly speaking, because the way this team has been playing right now, this was the key factor that was missing since I think 2015, 2016, 2017. This was one of the most key essential factors that was missing, because I remember being a Barca fan, I remember at one time I used to tell कि अरे यार ये weekend बड़ी मैच आ रही है, and midweek में injury की reports आ रही है, we're seeing Neymar getting injured, we're seeing players getting injured, we're seeing huge essential players in the squad getting injured, and I always used to think that Barcelona, it's not supposed to be a physical club, it's not supposed to be known for its physicality, it's not supposed to be known for stamina or body डाल रहे, tackles डाल रहे. They are supposed to be known for playing simple football and trying to keep the game towards their own half. Keep the game towards their own basics. उन लोग के जो core strengths है उसके ऊपर ये team operate करती है. But this team under Hansi Flick is what has the major changes that Hansi Flick has brought into this team is, first of all, the mentality. That has been obvious. Everyone can see how far this team has come as a mentality. Perspective, as a mentality perspective, this team has grown immensely, and that I think was also a part of it was also because of Xavi, because Xavi did something in this team. He made them believe in themselves. He made them understand that we have the capacity, we have the team to compete on the top level. He just couldn't get it right in his tactics, even though he was brilliant as a manager, but he couldn't get it right with his tactics, and that is because of the fact that he had no previous experience. The only experience that he has was when he was managing in Qatar. But the way Hansi Flick has got this team from becoming um, a team who anybody can dominate, a team who anybody could push overs. The best term to describe this Barcelona team from 2018 to 2023, this team should have been known as the pushovers, because इनको कोई भी बंदा आकर क्या कहते हैं ना, धक्का मुक्की करके, proper tackles करके, या just to beat them physically, it was easy. It was like, normally तो है, इसमें क्या है, बारसा है, they aren't a match, they aren't something that this isn't something that Barcelona does. That was the mentality every opposition had when they were playing with us. And bear in mind, I remember one game particularly, very very, one sharp game that I remember, which used to, which gave me too much sadness, was when we played Bayern Munich in the 21-22 season. And I remember at their home, it was in the Allianz Arena. मेरे को याद है कि बारसा का परफॉर्मेंस ओवरऑल इमेंस, टैक्टिकली सब परफेक्ट था. बट द टू मिसिंग थिंग्स दैट वी हैड वाज, वन वाज we were missing physically, the physicality was missing. I remember गोरेट्स्का, क्या कहते हैं ना, 3 प्लेयर्स को तो गोरेट्स्का ने मार दिया था, 3 प्लेयर्स को तो गोरेट्स्का ने कच्चा चबा लिया था. एंड द रेस्ट, लीरॉय साने, पीक प्लेयर. वो उस टाइम पर उसका जो पेस, स्टैमिना, physicality, everything was peak. And I remember I was very, like jealous, and at the same time I was very questioning the training and the methodology of Xavi, because you can only do certain things with tactics, but you also have to have the players who are physically fit. If you don't have players who are physically fit, you aren't going to, you can do whatever it is that you want. You can do magic, जादू कर लो, टोना कर लो, बैंचो काला जादू कर लो, do whatever it is that you want, like कुछ भी कर लो, नींबू नींबू चढ़ा दो, कुछ भी कर लो. It's not going to work out, because at the end of the day, if your players aren't physically fit, you aren't going to reach the level that your team has the potential to. So this is one thing that Hansi Flick has overall improved this season. He has brought this team a whole new level of training regime. The way that he was with Bayern, and I believe that was a key factor that was missing in this team, because as we modernize with the game, we have to modernize our tactics as well, and tactics not only on the pitch but also off the pitch when you prepare for the game. So that was one thing that was missing. And the second thing that I think was immense, like that was, I would also say that this was the biggest factor, like isse bada koi factor tha nahi missing, and this was decisiveness. Like in very crucial moments, how decisive a player can be, how decisive your team is, how decisive you are in front of the goal, and at the same time how decisive you are when you are defending a goal. Both of these factors matter immensely. Like and in the same game, I remember we had 7 or 8 chances where out of which Manuel Neuer saved 2 or 3, and the rest were misses. Open chances the, misses the. We couldn't finish our chances. We couldn't finish what was served to us on a golden platter. We couldn't finish our chances. That was the problem with this team. And I still think, even though this season we've been scoring crazy, like huge amount of goal, I think it's almost 120 or 130, I don't know exactly, but itne kuch goal maar diye this season, and still I still believe that this team is missing very crucial chances. If if we don't miss these crucial chances, I believe this team is going to go higher. This team, the potential this team has in front of the goal is going to be immense. And part of it, of course, Lewandowski has been crazy this season, but Lewandowski has missed chances. He's missed open chances. I remember in the 4-0 game in the Bernabeu against Real Madrid, लेवेंडोस्की ने तीन चांसेस मिस किए थे जिससे उसका हैट्रिक कंप्लीट हो सकता था. लाइक ही कुड हैव स्कोर्ड अ हैट्रिक एंड देन 2 goals. He missed 3 open chances, and that is where I think this team is still, I wouldn't say lacking, but at the same time I think they could improve a bit more on this. But yeah, the way that they've improved, because that game against Bayern, I remember everyone saying Barcelona won the match in terms of tactics. They won the match in terms of tactics, but Bayern won the game because they were decisive in front of the goal. Like Barcelona played the better game, but Bayern won the game because they could score a goal. That is the only reason why Barca lost, and that is the only reason why Barca was losing, like for a long time up until this season. And these are the 2 reasons that I think Hansi Flick improved immensely this season. And overall, this game against Girona, I think was the perfect example of how you turn your weakness into your best spots. Because this game against Girona, you could see, we had Kubarsi missing, we had Frenkie de Jong not starting, we had Rafinha not starting, and at the same time we had players who Balde was missing, and at the same time we had players who were starting, but we know that they need the rest. Like Lamine Yamal, he's consecutively started his fifth, sixth, seventh game, including the national break. Like he's continuously playing games 90 minutes पे 90 minutes खेल ही जा रहा है. Lewandowski playing 90 minutes after 90 minutes. He got one or two breaks, but other than that, he's been playing. And for a 36-year-old guy to do that at his age is crazy. Kunde, he's been. I read a stat which said that for the last 90 matches, Kunde has been playing straight up without a rest. He's been starting for 90 matches straight. And to do that right now in modern football, it is crazy. I don't understand how this guy is going underlooked, but what a crazy season he's been having. But overall, and Pedri, guys, Pedri, this is the one thing that we all have to applaud and give our flowers to Hansi Flick, because Pedri, the recent interview after the match, he says he was being criticized for having feet made of glass, and now that he's playing every match, there isn't one thing that the criticizers can say about him, and that is how far this guy Hansi Flick has brought this team. Against Girona as well, you saw in the second half how crazy, like the way they pressed, the way they were pressing Barcelona was crazy. एक point पे तो ऐसा हो गया था कि we had only 2 players or 3 players who were trying to get the pressure out and take the ball forward. That was Lamine, that was Pedri, and very very surprisingly, I have to give him his flowers as well. Eric Garcia was doing his job. He was doing his duty. Of course, Frenkie de Jong आने के बाद में केस ही बदल गया पूरा. And I've said this in the previous 2-3 videos that Frenkie de Jong, what he's been doing right now and what he's been doing, after he's come from his injury, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I have to say how this team right now, it's taking all the negatives and turning it into the positive. The only 2 or 3 things that were missing from this team, now the slowly धीरे धीरे वो भी develop हो रहा है. And I think by the time we reach a potential UCL final, this team could be unbeaten. That is the most biggest, I hope so, but at the same time this is the most biggest achievement that Hansi Flick could say. उसके CV में सबसे बड़ा achievement तो यही है कि 2025 का mid season से international break, winter break के बाद में जो सारी matches हुई है अब तक के 20 matches unbeaten. The guy is going crazy, maniac यार. And the one reason for that is the fact that he is turned this team into monsters. हर मैच खेल रहे, पागलों जैसा दौड़ रहे, पागलों जैसे दौड़ रहे. And that is where your physicality, your fitness comes into the play. You may give whatever it is, you may give the best equipment, you may give whatever, but physicality and fitness can be done by just simple training routines and regimes. What Hansi Flick has brought into this club, it was missing for I don't know how long. It was missing. वो ही एक link था जो miss हो रहा था. And scoring तो धीरे I wouldn't even have to criticize, because what they've done so far is crazy. They're missing chances, but at the same time overabundance of chances की वजह से these guys are massive. They're massive. Overflow है. But guys, I genuinely don't understand how this team somehow they went 1-1 against Girona and then came back. How? I remember at one point BARÇA, if they would have been 1-1, they would have gone 2-1 down, but they came up 4-1. Crazy guys, crazy. Last season का ही जो game हुआ था Girona के सामने in the at home, they lost 4-2. It was the same thing. They were winning 2-1 and उन लोग ने 3 goal मार दिए थे. That is how far this team has come because of Hansi Flick. And I genuinely hope that somehow Hansi Flick can continue what he's been doing up until now to the end of the season, because abhi jo games aane wale, the game against Atletico, that is one to watch. And I believe at the peak of our powers, nobody can stop us. Nobody, not Atletico, not Real, nobody can stop us. But then again, that's what matters. We have to stay at the peak of our powers. So Anyways, guys, we have a big match, crazy match tomorrow, and we will be there. We will be there.